Good morning, students. In today's session, we are going to discuss about algorithms in C++. Here, already you know that what do you mean by algorithm. Here, what do you mean by algorithm? Algorithm is a step-by-step process to solve a given problem. Algorithm is a step-by-step process to solve a given problem is known as the algorithm. While we are going to write any algorithm, we have to follow some set of rules, right? Here, algorithm is a step-by-step process to solve a given problem. Here, whenever we are going to write any algorithm, we are not going to check whether that particular statements are executable or not. Just in a common language, we are going to write the algorithm. For example, in English, we are going to write the algorithm. For example, addition of two numbers. How we are going to perform addition of two numbers? Here, before writing any algorithm, we must know what type of operation we are going to perform for those things. To solve a given problem, what type of operations we are going to perform. For example, addition of two numbers. Here, in addition of two numbers, to perform addition of two numbers, here what we have to write first, we must know what are the values of those two numbers. Then we have to perform addition of two numbers. Then we have to store the value of that particular sum. For example, first here read a comma b, right? Then reading the a comma b means we are getting the values of a comma b. Reading the a comma b means we are getting the values of a comma b. Reading the here for example, I am going to assign a equals to 5, b equals to 6, right? Here I am reading the values of a comma b. Then I am going to perform the sum of a comma b. Of a comma b, sum of a comma b. It means that here I am going to perform addition of two numbers, a plus b. Sum of a comma b means addition of two numbers, that is a plus b. Then I am going to write the value, I am going to store the value of that particular sum. So write c, write c, right here save c. So here addition of two numbers means we must know what are the values of a comma b. Then we are going to assigning the values of values to a and value to b. Then we are going to perform addition operation. Then we are going to save in the one more variable, that is c, right? Here this is the algorithm for addition of two numbers. While we are going to write addition of two numbers, here we are not going to use any programming language. We are not going to use any programming language, right? See here at design time, whenever we are going to write any algorithm at design time, here we write the step for solving the given problem, and this is not the program. Here algorithm is not the program. Why? Because here in algorithm we are going to use the general English, whereas in case of programs we have to follow some systematic rules. We have to follow some systematic rule. Depending upon those rules, we are going to write the program. Here program is also the set of instructions. Program is also the set of instruction, whereas here algorithm is also the set of instruction. But only the difference is, while we are going to write any algorithm, we are not going to follow any rules. We are not going to follow any programming rules. Whereas in case of program, whenever we are going to write any program, we have to follow the rules of that particular program, rules of that particular programming language, right? Generally algorithms are created independent of any language. We can write the algorithm in terms of Telugu, Hindi, English, whatever it may be. Here it depends upon the programmer, whether the programmer is here whether that particular programmer is comfortable in which language. In that particular programming, in that language, he is going to write the algorithm. While they are going to write any program, programmer is going to write any program. At that time, he has to follow the rules of that particular programming language. For example, if he is going to write the program in C language, then he has to follow the rules of this C programming language. If the programmer is going to write the program in terms of C++ language, at that time programmer is going to follow the rules of C++ program rules. If the programmer is going to write the program in terms of Java language, then he has to follow the rules of that particular Java language, right? Here and and one more thing, an algorithm can be implemented in more than one programming language. An algorithm can be implemented more than one programming language. See here in example, addition of two numbers. See here, addition of two numbers. Here hash include stda, hash include stdio dot h, open wide main, open the braces, int a equals to 5, b equals to 6, c equals to a plus b, then printf percentile d c, right? Here the same program we can write in C++ language also. How we are going to write in C++ language? Hash include iostream dot h, next is wide main, next is open the braces, next int a equals to 5, b equals to 6, c equals to a plus b, then c out c, right? Here see here, same same program algorithm is same. What is the algorithm for addition of two numbers? Read a comma b, then sum a comma b, then write c. This is the algorithm. Before going to write any algorithm, we have to write start and end must be with stop. End must be with stop, right? Here single, here this is the single algorithm, this is the single algorithm, but we are going to implement this algorithm in terms of C++ and in terms of C, right? Single algorithm is going to implemented in terms of C and C++. So an algorithm can be implemented in more than one programming language. Depending upon the user, here that particular algorithm is going to be implemented. That particular algorithm is going to be implemented. At the end, here algorithm is a step-by-step process to perform a specific task, whereas program is also the step-by-step process to perform a particular task, whereas whenever we are going to write any program, we have to follow the rules of that particular programming language, whereas in algorithm no need to follow any programming rules. See now the difference between the program and algorithm. Here first one is there. Here what is the first difference between the program and the algorithm? Algorithm is written in the, here algorithm is going to written at design time. Here at designing that particular project, we are going to define the, we are going to write the algorithm. While we are going to designing any project, at that time only we are going to deciding the, we are going to writing the program. Where here, whereas program is going program, when we are going to write the program at the time of implementation, at the time of implementation program is going to written by the programmer. Program is going to written by the programmer at implementation time. See the difference. Program is going to written at implementation time, whereas the algorithm is going to written at design time, right? Next one, any person who is having the domain knowledge can write an algorithm. Here any person who is going to work on that particular project, he must know what type of problem is, what type of project you are going to design. That particular person is can write the algorithm. But whereas in case of program, only programmers can write the program. Programmers can write the program. Here domain knowledge is the, domain knowledge is different and programmers are different. For example, here any project is there. Here that particular project, while we are going to designing any project, here project different types of members are going to be present in that particular project. Here managers are there, programmers are there, testing testing people are there. Here right, manager is also known what type of project you are going to design. Programmer is also known what type of project that particular people are going to design. Testers also know that what type of project they are going to be designed. But here domain knowledge means manager can write the algorithm for that particular project, right? But here, who persons who are having the domain knowledge can write the algorithm, whereas whenever you are going to implement any algorithm in terms of program, programmers must write that particular program. Here tester is not going to able to write the program, and the managers also not going to write any program, right? Any, this is the second difference between the algorithm and the program. Now third, any language can be used with the optimal mathematical notation. Here while we are going to write any algorithm, we are going to write any algorithm, we can use any mathematical notation. So here plus, minus, star, divide, percentile, all these are the mathematical notations. While we are going to write these mathematical algorithm, we can use this mathematical notation, whereas in case of uh, where in case of programming language, here we have to follow some set of rules that are given in the programming language, right? For example, here in this case, in uh, absolute value is there, abs value is the absolute value, right? You know the absolute value. To find any absolute value, how we are going to find the absolute value? Here mod minus 3, right? Mod minus 3 is there. What is the value of this mod minus 3? It is 3. Here this is the general mathematical notation, but here while we are going to write any algorithm, we can use this general mathematical notation, but whereas in case of programming language, we can't use directly such type of mathematical notations. To implement such type of mathematical notation, here we are programming languages are going to design various types of functions, predefined functions are there. Those predefined functions are present in those library. Just we have to include those predefined functions in our library, and we have to execute that particular mathematical notation. For example, to perform absolute value, how we are going to perform absolute value? By using this abs function. We are going to find the absolute value. Where this abs function is present? Here in C programming language, in mat.h header file, this abs function is present, right? Here, right? Third difference is any language can be used with the optimal mathematical notations, whereas in this programming languages has to be used only programming languages. Predefined functions are there, we have to use those predefined functions only. Now fourth difference between program algorithm and program is software and hardware independent. Algorithm is a software and hardware independent, whereas program is software and hardware independent. For example, operating system is there, processor is there. Which type of operating system you are going to use to execute the program, which type of processor you are going to use to execute that particular program, yeah, all those things are going to be considered while we are going to execute the program. Whereas in case of algorithm is present in simple English, no need to use any programming languages. In that particular case, no need to use any software or hardware devices to perform that particular algorithm. Next, here this is the fourth difference between the algorithm and the program. Fifth one is, after writing the algorithm, it will be analyzed for the best results and measure it according to the time and space complexity. Here whenever we are going to write any algorithm, we must uh, analyze the time complexity and space complexity of the algorithm. Depending upon the space and time complexity, we are going to measure that particular algorithm. Whereas in case of programming language, after coding, that will be tested. Here after writing the complete program, that particular program is going to be tested, right? This is the main difference between the algorithm and the program, right? Here now next is characteristics of an algorithm. Here, what are the various types of characteristics of an algorithm? There are 5 types of characteristics are there for an algorithm. Whenever we are going to write any algorithm, we have to follow these 5 characteristics. First one is the input. Here, input means an algorithm has 0 or more inputs taken from a specified set of objects. Here, whenever we are going to design any algorithm, we must know what type of input we have to give. Then here, for example, here factorial of a given number. I am going to write the algorithm for factorial of a given number. Here, to find the factorial of a given number, which number we have to use? Either 4 factorial or 6 factorial. Is it right? Here, is it possible to write 3.5 factorial? No. 4.6 factorial? No. Here, whenever we are going to write any algorithm for a specific problem, we must know what type of input we have to produce to that particular algorithm, right? Next, output. Here, an algorithm has one or more outputs which have a specified relation to the inputs. An algorithm has one or more outputs which have a specified relation to that input. Here, in this case, here, whenever we are going to perform any operation, on any algorithm, we must know what type of output is going to be generate. For example, here 4 factorial is there. What is the value of 4 factorial? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Here 24. Answer is 24. So whenever we are designing any algorithm, that particular domain person must know what type of output is going to be generated. Here either 24, 28, 32, here in that format. Here that particular person must know the expected output. For example, here 4 factorial, answer of 4 factorial is 24, but he is going to check that 4.6, 4.8. Is it right one? No. While we are going to write any algorithm, we must know what type of input we have to give and what type of output that particular algorithm is going to be generate while we are going to process that particular algorithm, right? This is the second characteristic of an algorithm. So third one is definiteness. Here in this case, each step must be defined. What type of operation that particular program, that particular instruction is going to be carried out must be defined while we are going to write the algorithm. For example, write a comma b, sum a comma b. Here sum a comma b, what do you mean by sum a comma b? Here it is going to perform addition of two numbers. So whenever we are going to write any instruction in the algorithm, that must be defined. This is the third characteristic of an algorithm. Fourth one is the finiteness. Here the algorithm must always terminate after a finite number of steps. Here every algorithm must be end after finite number of steps. Every algorithm must be end. Here for example, addition of two numbers, we are having 6 to 7 lines are there to perform the addition of two numbers, right? Here for matrix multiplication, while we are going to write the algorithm for matrix multiplication, it required around 20 to 30 lines. Here to perform for reading an input data from a file and writing the data, updating the data into the file, we require 50 to 60 lines of code, right? 50 to 60 lines of instructions are there. So here every algorithm must be terminated after finite number of steps. Here this is the main characteristic of an algorithm. If this characteristic is not going to followed, then that particular algorithm is, we are not going to call those instructions are algorithm. Next one is the fifth one is the effectiveness. All operations to be performed must be sufficiently basic that they can be done exactly and in finite length. Here every instruction must be carried out. In an effective manner. These are the 5 characteristics of an algorithm. First one is the input, second one is the output, third one is the definiteness, fourth one is the finiteness, fifth one is the effectiveness. Up to here, you know what do you mean by algorithm, what is the difference between the algorithm and the program. Now characteristics of an algorithm, right? Next one is the algorithm specification. Here algorithm specification is consisting of a here around 13 steps are there while we are going to specify any algorithm specifications. First one is the name of the algorithm. Here, name of the algorithm means whenever we are going to write any algorithm, we must give the name to that particular algorithm. We must give the name to the particular algorithm. For example, here in a, I'm going to write any program for factorial of a given number. After writing the complete program, I have to save that particular program. Na? Is it right? Fact.c, fact.cpp. Here in this format, we are going to saving the program. Is it right? In the same way, without saving the program, is it possible to execute that one? No. Here we can execute the program, but while we are going to retrieve the information, it is very difficult to retrieve that particular information. In the same way, while we are going to write any program, we must give a name to that particular algorithm. While we are going to write any algorithm, we must give a name to a specific algorithm. While we are going to give any name to the algorithm, here it must consist of all capital letters. Every algorithm has given a name written in capital letters. See here, capital letters. Here we have to give the name in terms of capital letters only. Second one is the introductory comment. Here while we are going to write any algorithm, here for example, I am going to write the addition of two numbers, right? Addition of two numbers. Here just I am going to write here, for example, add. My algorithm name is add. Just I am going to write uh, read a comma b, then sum a comma b, then write sum, right? Here this is the program for addition of two numbers. This is the program for addition of two numbers. For example, I want to perform addition of three numbers. In that particular case also, if I am going to write add, here same read a comma b comma c, then sum a comma b comma c, then write sum. Right sum. See here, this is the algorithm. This algorithm is also right one addition of two numbers. This algorithm is the right one addition of three numbers. Addition of two numbers, here addition of three numbers. Then how the user is going to recognize, which one is having the addition of two numbers, which one is the addition of three numbers. For this case, we are going to use some comment lines. Here how we are going to write the comment line. Here two black slashes. Here sum of two numbers. Here in this case, here we are going to write sum of three numbers. This is the comment. Here see, an algorithm name is followed by a brief description of the task that the algorithm performs and any assumption that have been made, right? Here comment begin with the two backslashes and end with the line. Whenever we are going to write any one more comment, we have to write in the new line and we have to use this two backslashes. Yeah, this is the second algorithm specification. First one is the name of the algorithm, second one is the introductory comment, third one is the step. Here while here every algorithm is having finite number of steps. Each algorithm is made of sequence of numbered step, right? Here already this is the basic property of the algorithm. What is the here? See in previous example here, finiteness. The algorithm must always terminate after a finite number of steps. In the same way, steps. Here we are having finite number of steps. Here while we are going to specify any algorithm, here that particular programmer must know in how many steps we require to compute that particular algorithm, how many steps we require, right? This is the third one. Fourth one is the data type. What type of data type we are going to use to perform that particular task? For example, integer is there, addition of two numbers, already explained addition of two numbers. Here I am going to take int a comma b. For example, I want to find the factorial of a given number. Here I am going to write int n. I am not going to write float n. Float n means 4.4. Is it possible to find the factorial of 4.4? No. Here is it possible to find the factorial of 4? Yes, it is possible to find the factorial of 4, right? But we can't find the factorial of 4.5, right? Here, whenever we are going to design any algorithm, whenever we are going to write any algorithm, we must know what type of data type we have to use, what type of data type we have to use, what type of output we are going to get. All those things must be known by the programmer while the particular programmer is going to design that particular algorithm, right? Next one is the assignment statement. Assignment statement means here uh, assignment operator is going to use to perform the assignment statement. Which one is the assignment operator? Equals to is the assignment operator. Equals to is the assignment operator, right? The assignment statement is indicated by placing the equal between the variables and the expressions. Here, sum equals to a plus b, sum equals to a plus b. So this is the assignment operator. This is the assignment operator. This assignment operator is going to present between the variable and the expression. In some cases here a equals to 5, we are assigning the constant value to a. In some cases here pi equals to 3.14, we are assigning the constant value to one variable, that is pi. Assignment operator is used to assign a value to that particular variable or assign a value to that particular expression. By using the equal operator, we are going to assigning the value, we are going to assigning the value. Next is the expression. Expression means expression are consisting of operators and operands. What do you mean by operator? Operator is an entity which is used to perform a specific task, whereas operand means operators are going to perform on operands. Operators are going to perform on operand. Expression is consisting of operators and operands. Expressions are consisting of operators and operand. Here, while we are going to write any algorithm, we must, if is it necessary to use the expression, then we can use directly, we can use the expressions in our algorithm, right? For example, here I am going to perform uh, 2x square plus 3x plus 5. Any equation is there, just I want to find the root of this equation. 2x square plus 3x plus 5. Here we are going to use various types of mathematical operations. Here I am going to use here this is the one type of expression. This is the one type of expression. While we are going to write any algorithm, if it is necessary to use any expression, directly we can use the expression. Here in expression is consisting of all the relational operators, logical operators, binary operators, assignment operator, additional operators, arithmetic operators. All those operators are going to present in the expression. This is the sixth one, which is present in algorithm specification, which is present in the algorithm specification. Next one is the seventh one, is the if statement. If statement is here. While we are going to write any algorithm, we are going to use various types of conditional statements. Here conditional statements are there. Here conditional statements are if else, nested if else. All these are the conditional statements are there. Here if statement has the one of the following two form: if condition then statement, if condition then statement, else statements, right? Yeah, this is the if and if else statements are there. If these two are necessary, then we can use these statements in our algorithms, right? Next one is the switch statement is there. Case statement is there. Case statement is the switch statement. Case statement is the switch statement. Here if we are going to execute multiple number of expressions at a time, if we are going to check multiple number of statements at a time, then we are going to use the switch case. Switch case, already you know what do you mean by switch case. Switch expression, case 1, case 1 block, then break, case 2 block, then break, case 3 block, then break. All those things are going to be present in the case statement, right? Here is it necessary for that particular algorithm, then we are going to implement these case statements and these if statements in our algorithm. Next one is the looping statements. There are three types of loops are present: while loop, do while loop, and for loop, right? While loop do while loop and for loop. In while loop, here first we are going to check the condition, then we are going to execute this statement, right? Here in this case, in previous cases, in if statement and case statement, just we are going to check the one condition, then we are going to execute that particular block. Whereas in case of while and do while and for statement, here repeatedly we are going to execute this statement. Repeatedly we are going to execute this statement. For example, while is there, here we are going to check the condition. If the condition is true, if the condition is true, we are going to execute this statement. Again we are going to checking for the condition. If the condition is true, again we are going to checking this statement. Here repeatedly we are going to checking this statement until the condition is false, right? This is the while loop. Here loop, these statements are used when there is need of some statements to be executed number of time. Here while we are going to write the algorithm, in that particular algorithm, if some statements are there, those statements are going to be executed n number of time. Then at that time we are going to use this looping statement. Then we are going to use this looping statement. Looping statements are while loop is there, do while loop is there, and for loop is there. Here C++ programming language is a structured programming language. That's the reason we are going to use this while, do while, and for loop. In do while statement, first we are going to execute this statement, then we are going to check the condition. If the condition is true, again we are going to check for the, again we are going to execute that particular statement. Here difference between while and do while is, in while loop first we are checking the condition, then we are going to execute this statement. Whereas in case of do while statement, first we are executing the loop, then we are going to check the condition. Whereas in case of for loop, here in for loop execution we are having three statements are there. First we are going to initialize the value, next we are going to checking the condition. If the condition is true, then we are going to execute the block, then we are going to execute that particular block. Again we are going to increment or decrement the value of that particular variable. Then we are going to, again we are going to check for the condition. If the condition is true, then we are going to execute that particular block, right? Here these are the looping statements. Whenever we are going to write any algorithm, if the looping statements are required, at that time we are going to use these looping statements. While we are going to write these looping statements, we are not going to check whether those looping statements are syntactically correct or not. Just we are going to use those looping statements in our program. That's it. Next one is the input and output. Before writing any algorithm, the programmer must know what type of input we have to give and what type of expected output that particular program is going to be generated. All these things must be documented. All these things must be documented. Right. Next one is the go-to statement. Here in the go-to statement, here for example, a program, any lengthy project is there. For that lengthy project, you are going to write any algorithm. In some cases, if you want to skip some part of that particular project, at that time directly we are going to use this go-to statement. Directly we are going to skip that particular statement, some block. Then we are going to execute that particular statement. For example, see here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 lines of code is there. For example, 10 blocks are there. Here after third block we have to execute this ninth one. After third block we have to go for the ninth one. Here in 4 5 6 7 8, here these are not required for my project. At that time directly here I am going to write here go to block 9. Go to block 9. Directly we are going to skip this 5 6 7 8 9. In some cases, if we require, if for that particular project, if it is required, then just we are going to skipping some part of that particular project. Then directly we can skip to that particular, skip to the next block. This is the go to statement. End statement. The end statement is used to terminate an algorithm. End statement is used to terminate an algorithm. Here already I told that there are 5 characteristics are there. In that 5 characteristics, finiteness is the fourth one. Finiteness means every algorithm is must have the finite number of steps. Finite number of steps, after after n number of steps, that particular algorithm is going to be terminated. Here whenever that particular algorithm is terminated, we are going to use this end statement. The end statement is used to terminate an algorithm. It is usually the last step, and the algorithm is written after the end, right? This is the end statement. Function. A function is used to return a single value to the calling function. Functions are the, here if we are going to designing a big project, in that particular project we can use various types of functions also. We can use various types of functions also. Functions are the subprogram which are used to perform a specific task. Functions are the subprogram which are used to perform a specific task, right? Here we can use these functions also in our program. Remember one thing, while we are going to write any algorithm, we are not going to specify the syntax and semantics of that particular programming language. These are the specifications of an algorithm. There are 13 specifications are there. Here we are having 5 characteristics: input, output, definiteness, finiteness, effectiveness. Here, whereas algorithm specifications are name of the algorithm, introductory comment, steps, data types, assignment statement, expression, if statement, case statement, looping statement, input and output, go to statement, end statement, and the function. These 13 are the algorithm specifications, right? Up to here clear. Next is my next topic is how to write an algorithm. Here while we are going to write any algorithm, we have to follow some set of rules. Here, while we are writing any algorithm, it must be understandable. Statements can be used while we are going to write any algorithm. For example, myself, I am going to write the algorithm for factorial of a given number. For example, in some x person is there, uh, by seeing that algorithm, he must recognize this algorithm is for written this algorithm is going to, by using this algorithm we can find the factorial of a given number, right? Everything here, uh, by concerned parties, it must be understandable. Here, every line which is present in the algorithm must be understandable by third parties, right? Yeah, whoever the persons are present in that particular project, those each and every person must understand what type of algorithm you have written, right? Next, no need to follow any programming language syntax or notation, especially in algorithm. There is no fixed syntax for writing any algorithm. Already I told that here we are not going to follow any syntax. We are not going to follow any syntax and semantics of the given algorithm. Just we can use general English and we can write any algorithm. Any language can be used to write the algorithm with optimal mathematical notation. Here we can use only optimal mathematical notations while we are going to write any algorithm. Here those mathematical notations are going to replace by the library functions which are present in that particular programming language. We have to use only basic mathematical notation. That's it. Next one is the algorithm can be designed to get a solution of a given problem. A problem can be solved in more than one way. Hence, many solutions algorithms can be derived for a given problem. Right here, whenever we are going to design a solution for a given problem. Here, for example, I am the programmer one. I am going to write different types of solution for the same problem. You are the programmer two. You are going to design different kind of solution for the same problem. In the same way, here for a single problem we are going to get multiple number of algorithm. But whereas in this case here, for a single problem, for example, if I am going to write in any code in a C programming language, we have to follow that particular code only. We have to follow that particular code only. But whereas in case of algorithms, depending upon the user, he is going to write different types of algorithm for a single problem. For example, see here, design an algorithm for addition of two numbers and display the result. For example, here every algorithm is going to start with start symbol, right? Start with the stop and end with the stop. Then declare three integers. First I am going to write declaring three integers: a comma b comma c, right? A comma b comma c here. Next is I'm going to assigning the value, define values of a comma b. I'm going to assigning the values to value to a and value to b. Then I'm going to perform addition of two numbers, sum of a comma b. Then store the output in C. Store the output of step 4 to C. I'm going to store the value of sum of this a comma b in C. Then I'm going to print the value of C. Then I'm going to stop the process. Here, see here, this is the one type of algorithm for addition of two numbers. One type of algorithm for addition of two numbers. First I am going to declare three variables, then I am going to defining the values to a comma b, then I am going to perform addition of two numbers, then the output is going to store in C, then I am going to print the value of C, then I am going to stop the process. This is the addition of two numbers here. This is one type of solution. In second case, here the second algorithm is there. In this case, here every algorithm is going to start with start, end with the stop. See here, first directly we are going to assigning the values to a comma b. Directly I am assigning the values to a comma b. A equals to 5, b equals to 6. Then I am going to performing the operation C equals to a plus b, and answer is going to save in directly, answer is going to save in C. Then I am going to display the value of C. Then I am going to stop the process. See here my problem is addition of two numbers only, but I am going to get two different types of algorithm for a single problem. Yeah, it means that an algorithm can be designed to get a solution of a given problem. A problem can be solved in more than one way. In more than one way. For a single problem, for a single problem, we may get multiple number of algorithms. We may get multiple number of algorithms, right? This is how we are going to write an algorithm. How we are going to write an algorithm? First is that every instruction must be understandable by third parties. Here we are not going to follow any program syntax. Here we are going to use mathematical notations, simple mathematical notation we are going to use. And fourth one is here a single algorithm is having multiple number of solutions. Single algorithm is having multiple number of solutions. Here this is the algorithm, how to write an algorithm. Next one is how to analyze the algorithm. How to analyze the algorithm. Here how we are going to analyze the algorithm. There are here we are having five criteria are there to analyze the algorithm. First one is the time, second one is the space, third one is the network consumption, fourth one is the power consumption, fifth one is the CPU register. These are the five criteria are there. By using these five criteria we are going to analyze our algorithm. We are going to analyze our algorithm. First one is the time. Here time means here the time taken to execute that particular algorithm. The algorithm must be time efficient, mean it must be faster. Here we have to, while we are going to write any algorithm, we must consider the time. We must consider the time, in how much time that particular algorithm is going to be executed. That particular algorithm is going to be executed. All these things we have to take consider while we are going to write any algorithm. In the analysis process, the time taken by the algorithm is measured, whether the algorithm is lengthy or time consuming, or it is smaller or faster. Here at the analysis stage only, here that particular algorithm is going to be measured. How we are going to measure that particular algorithm? Whether the algorithm is very lengthy algorithm, or whether the algorithm is a time consuming algorithm, whether the algorithm is a small algorithm, whether the algorithm is a fastest algorithm. All those things are going to be considered at analysis stage only. At analysis stage only all these things are going to be considered. Next, here the time consumed by the algorithm will be in the form of a function. Here in the form of the function and not in the form of watch or clock time. Here how we are going to find the time, how we are going to calculate the time of that particular algorithm. Here we are going to calculate the time of the algorithm in terms of functions only. We are not going to take in terms of normal clock time. Here we are going to define some set of functions, mathematical functions. By using those mathematical function only, we are going to defining the time complexity of that particular algorithm. Here in next class I am going to discuss about what type of mathematical function we are going to use to find out the time complexity of the given algorithm. Next one is this, second one is this space complexity. Space means how much space is going to need to store that particular algorithm, right? The algorithm will be converted into program and going to be executed on a computer. Here after writing the algorithm, that particular algorithm is going to converted into the program, then that particular program is going to be executed. While here, while we are going to execute that particular program, the programmer must know what type, how much memory space is required to store that particular algorithm, how much space is going to be required to store that particular program. It must be calculated. Again, here the space complexity also be complexity is also required. We are going to save in terms of mathematical functions only, right? Here next one is the network consumption. Here network consumption means, here for example, here I am going to design an algorithm for transferring the data on the network. In that particular case, here if it is a network transaction, sending and receiving of data and from the network, then the consumption of the network resources needed to be considered as the criteria of analysis. I'm going to send any data from sender to receiver. For example, here sender is there. See here sender is there, sender, here receiver, sender and receiver is there. Now sender is going to send the information to the receiver, sender is going to send the information to the receiver, right? In this particular case, here while sender is going to send the information to the receiver, here in between in the network there are various types of routers are there, or switches are there, routers are there, switches are there. Here some sort of firewalls are there, some sort of firewalls are there. All those things are the components of the network. Here while we are going to sending or receiving any information, while we are going to sending and receiving an information on the network, what type of network devices are going to use, what type of network devices are going to use, all those things must be considered while we are going to while we are going to analyze the algorithm, right? Next one is the power consumption. Nowadays power consumption is the big criteria to analyze any algorithm. Why? Because here most of the programs are going to design coded not only for the desktop computers but also for mobiles, tablets and laptops, right? Where the power consumption is an important issue. Here um, before that, if you are going to generate any code for the laptops or desktops only, here power consumption is not an issue. Whereas nowadays here code programs are going to be coded for the laptops, for the same program is going to use for the laptop, same program code is going to use for the mobile phone, tablets and desktop, all those things here where the power consumption is an important issue. If an algorithm falls under this category, then power consumption is also an important criteria for analysis of an algorithm, right? Next one, the CPU register. Here what do you mean by register? Register are used to stores the data, registers are used to stores the data. The CPU will have also the memory is known as the register. Generally we are going to save this data in the memory. In some cases some small amount of data is there, in small amount of data we are going to use the register. These registers are present in the CPU. The amount of CPU register consumption by the algorithm need to be considered as the criteria while designing any algorithm. Here we have to consider this registers also while we are going to design any algorithm. Here whenever we are going to analyze any algorithm, we have to take these five criteria. First one is the time, second one is the space, third one is the network consumption, fourth one is the power consumption, fifth one is the CPU registers, right? Thank you. In next class I am going to discuss about what is the performance analysis of the algorithm. Thank you.